Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee, and welcome to this card making tutorial featuring the Frosted Forest bundle from Stampin' Up. This is a stamp set we're going to be using initially, and we're going to just be using this tree image here, and we're going to colour it in using the matching stencils, which I think is a great idea. Being able to colour your images so easily using matching stencils, and I love these layering stencils that allow us to colour in images so simply. So I'm just going to stamp up very gently here in Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm just stamping onto some basic white cardstock. That will be fine. I'm just going to give my stamp a quick clean using the Simple Chamois. One of my favourite tools in the craft room is the Simple Chamois. Makes my life so much easier. And now I always put my stamp back in its home straight after using it. That way you don't get any orphan stamps. Okay, so let's take this out of its home. My little stamping tool, and now we're going to colour in using the stencils. I haven't washed my stencils since the last card I made, but they wash up very quickly and easily. Even though I left it overnight, they will still wash up and come out beautifully clean. I'm going to just hold my paper down here to my cardstock using some Post-it note tape. Any kind of low tack tape will do. And then these are the 3 stencils from the Frosted Forest. They're labelled 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to start off with number 1, and they're really easy to line up, as you can tell. Sorry about that, the rubbish bin just came. So they've done their stuff, so now we can do ours. And I'm going to use pecan pie first, or pecan pie. And we're just doing the stem or the branch, or the trunk of our tree. You can do this as dark or as light as you want. There we go. And I'm just using small blending brushes. I prefer them personally because I feel they give me a little bit more control. Now before I lift the stencil, I want to tell you of one feature of these stencils. There's a little notch at the top here. I'm going to make a mark in the notch with my pencil, and this will help me line up all the rest of my stencils. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that lovely? So there we've got that one. Now we're going to go in with stencil number 2. Can line it up with that notch, and you can see by doing that it takes us to the right place straight away to line up our stencil. You can still go around and just make sure everything is exactly as you want it, but that should be fine. Now I did struggle with the colour for my tree, and it did come out, I think, still a very garish colour. So last time I sort of started off with Pretty in Pink, then I sort of went to Bubble Bath and Freesia, but I'm going to start off here this time with Bubble Bath and see where we go this time, and see if we get a little bit of a better pink. Things don't have to be exactly the same every time. I was going for a cherry tree sort of a colour. It looks better, I think, but let's add a little bit fresh freesia on top and see how that looks. You can layer your colours. You don't have to just have one colour. Quite like that. So let's remove that. Yeah, I like that. It's an artistic impression of a cherry tree. So I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to go in with this deeper colour, which is Berry Burst. I'm just going to go in with a light hand in this. I don't want it to be too dark. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. So as I said, these will wash up really easily. You just run them under the tap and they are good to go again. So now I'm going to cut these out using the matching dies, which are those here, the Frosted Forest dies. And I'm going to use these ones here, the Spotlight and Nature dies. I'm going to use this largest die here and then the second die in to create my little frame here from some gold foil cardstock. So I'm going to get all of that done. One last thing, I'm also going to take a piece of basic white and I'm going to put it in this 3D embossing folder called Birchwood. And once I've done all of that, I'll see you again. Okay, so we're ready to assemble our card. So our card base is Petunia Pop. So there's a standard A6 card base, that's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And then I'm going to use a sheet of basic white that measures 14.35 centimeters by 10. And this will be our insert. But don't worry, all the measurements and all the supply lists are on the blog post. And you can find the link to that as well as all my social media links in the description box below. So now on the front I've put another piece of that same size cardstock through the Birchwood 3D embossing folder. I think I'm going to switch to Tombow here because you've got a lot of dimension and texture on this cardstock and I want it to really stick. So I prefer wet glue for this. Just personal preference. Glue really is a personal preference to what glue you use for what thing. There's no rules. It's what works for you. Okay. Then I've got this piece that I cut out the frame. Now, my tree is not going to fit in the frame. The trunk is going to be too long. So I'm going to want it to be about there. So I'm going to cut this off here. I'm just going to get my snips out quickly. And cut this off. I don't want it to show in the frame at all, so I'm going to cut it where I've made this mark here, roughly around there. Okay, get rid of that. And then let's put the snips away. And I'm going to get my reverse tweezers out if I can find them, hiding from me. And this will help me with this piece here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I'm just going to use a fine tip glue for this, but also wet glue again. Just so I can, it's going to work for me today. Yes, it is. I'm putting very little down. So I really don't want it to splodge everywhere if I can avoid it. So I'm just putting a dot between each of these little decorative pieces. And that's going to be enough. And this will help me just to place it and try and keep my fingers out of the glue. Okay, there we go. Lovely. I think this gold foil sheet is glorious and just adds that touch of elegance to the card. Whoops. Okay, and then we have our tree, and I've put this on dimensionals and I've already taken the backings off. And I'm just going to make sure this is really down tight. So I don't want it to, it doesn't need to tuck, it just needs to butt up the tree to it. Okay, just like that. I like that. Now I'm going to look for a sentiment, and I'm going to use one of these already done from the Saying Something ephemera pack. And last time I did Love You Forever, and I could do this one this time. This is a confetti. This is Confetti Sparkles Streamers Kind of Celebration. I don't know. I'm denied about that the first time. Could also do Happy Day. Let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, I like that. So we're going to do Happy Day, and we're going to just stick this down with some Tombow. I'm just going to put this roughly somewhere, try and get it straight. So I'm happy with it. Like that will do, enough fabric. And then finishing touches, I've got some of these adhesive backed dapple dots, and I'm just going to scatter a few around. Like that. So there we have our two trees. So I hope you enjoyed this card featuring the Frosted Forest stamp die and matching stencils bundle from Stampin' Up. As I said, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on the thumbs up to say you liked it. And until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.